Hi guys, what's up? It's the Lame Otaku, and today we're going to be doing a review of Volume 13 for One Piece. Yeah, that's Volume 13. Um, so basically, let's get started. I'm going to be doing an overview of basically what's happened in Volume 13, instead of doing a discussion on what I think is going to happen and my opinions on it. I'm going to start doing that once we get to Volume 15 here, because, oh shoot, once we get to volume 15, that's basically what I've read up to, because I've already read 14 and 13 and part of 15. So I can't really do my predictions or anything like that because I already know what's going to happen. So I'm basically just going to do another overview for 14, and then I'm going to be starting to do the different type of video. So basically, what happens in 13 is Zoro finishes off fighting with the Barku Works, and basically Luffy appears and he gets mad at Zoro for beating up all their people that treated him nice and fed them. And basically after that, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine show up and say that Mrs. Wednesday is actually the princess of Alabasta, and her name is Vivi. So basically, that's true, and Mrs. Wednesday and Mr. 8 are actually spies for Alabasta because the Barq Works have been giving the Kingdom of Alabasta some trouble, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop that. And basically, after that, let's see, yeah, basically, they're trying to capture Vivi and Mr. 8 because they didn't want them in Barq Works if they're spies, and they're going to try to kill them. So Mr. Five, well, yeah, Luffy and Nami and Zoro make a deal with Mrs. Wednesday and Mr. 8, or now the Alabasta people, to escort them to Alabasta, whoopsie, and keep them safe all the way there so that they can return. Um, Basically they escape at first, but then Mr. Five and Miss Valentine catch up, but Luffy and Zoro are getting into a fight because of how Luffy says that they didn't treat their friends nicely and stuff because they fed them and whatnot. And Zoro's obviously the right one there. And Mr. Five and Miss Valentine try to fight them while they're in their fight, and Luffy basically and Zoro basically just kick their ass because, like, yeah, because they're interfering in the fight. And Mr. Five's Devil Fruit power is he can basically blow up any part of his body. So his main attack is where he flicks a booger at you and he blows it up. Mrs. Valentine can change the weight of her body like at any time. So basically she makes herself really light, floats up, makes herself really heavy, and then crushes you. Didn't really work out too well against Luffy and Zoro, obviously. So basically they defeat them, they run away, and Luffy and his crew get ready to leave to escort them to Alabasta, and Mr. 8, or the other person with Vivi, decides to make a plan where he goes out and as a distraction, and then they can sneak away, like Luffy and his crew can sneak away with Vivi, but Mr. 8 gets blown up and by well, they don't really know who at the time, and so they run away and try to go to the next island, which is it's like a prehistoric island. But along the way they see Mrs. All Sunday, who blew up Mr. 8. She's like the vice president of Barq Works, sort of, and she doesn't really do anything in the rest of the volume. She just shows up on their boat, and when they get to the next island, it's like a prehistoric island. There's like dinosaurs and stuff, and they end up finding like a giant named Broggy, and he's basically fighting with another giant named Dory on the island, and they're trying to. It's basically a battle of honor and stuff, and every time this volcano blows up, they do like a little fight until they're really tired. So they've been doing this for like 100 years, and yeah. So basically, before they actually fight, Um, Dory actually gets some like alcohol from Luffy and his crew because yeah, he wants some, and it ends up blowing up in his mouth and damaging his organs and stuff. So yeah, and then he goes to another battle and he's really injured and stuff. That's basically all of volume 13. It was pretty good volume, I guess. Not gonna do my opinions on it or anything because basically that, like I said, I'm gonna start that volume 15. So yeah, that's volume 13. Let me show you like the back and stuff. If you can see that, spine's pretty cool. Oh, I really liked the color of this. It's purple if you can't see it. So yeah, that's volume 13. Next I'll be doing 14. Alright.